This is Dave Sugarbaker, and today is the 21st day of September in the year 2025. I've got a sermon about difference. I've got three different, very short scriptures. The first one is from Colossians. Bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you has a grievance against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. Secondly, from Matthew, the 18th chapter, then Peter came to Jesus and asked, Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother or sister who sins against me? Up to 7 times? Jesus answered, I tell you, not 7 times, but 77 times. And third, this is from the letter of James. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. This year, political assassinations in the United States have doubled. That's not just troubling, that's a flashing red light. We need to change the moral and political climate in our country, and we need to start with how we treat people who disagree with us. Our collective habit as a country of stereotyping or demonizing those who see things differently than we do. It's not just toxic, it's dangerous. It leads to violence. So let me be as clear as I can be. Political violence and assassination are out of bounds. They're un-American. They are un-Christian. We really have to do better. Well, let's try a little exercise together, a little mental game. No violence involved, just imagination. Let's say that we could magically erase anyone who disagrees with us. We use our magic ballpoint pen here. Just poof, and they're gone. We could start with foreigners. They don't look like us. They don't behave like us. They don't believe as we do. They just make us uncomfortable. They're different. And so what do we decide to do? Poof. Now we're left with just our 300 million fellow Americans. Roughly half of them agree with us politically, and the other half don't. And the other side? Well, they're un-American, we're told by our political leaders. They're all alike. It's easy to lump people together if they're all alike, right? It's easier to stereotype. They're hard to talk to. They just don't see things the way we do. So, for the sake of this exercise, poof. Now we're down to 150 million people. That's progress. But difference and disagreement still lingers. Westerners in the United States are upset about water rights. Urbanites are worried about crime. Everybody's debating about taxes or pollution or overfishing. Poof. So let's shrink the circle even more. How about only our brand of Christianity? Surely then we'll have some agreement. We would all see things the same way, right? Except those Presbyterians or Methodists. You put 2 of them in a room and you get 3 opinions. Well, at least we can count on family. We're genetically birds of a feather. Surely we will all see things and do things the same way. But remember that Thanksgiving Day argument? Even family can disagree. Poof. Now it's just me and my spouse. Certainly my partner and I will see eye to eye, except when we don't see eye to eye. Poof. Finally, I'm alone. But even then, there are some times when I'm of two minds about something. The truth is, the human community comes prepackaged with difference. The only human being in history who didn't have to deal with difference was Adam, until Eve showed up. We can't eliminate difference and still live in the human community. Being human means being unique, and that means there will be differences among us. But difference isn't necessarily a flaw. It can be a gift. Now, this is important. Not everything is just a difference of opinion. Dehumanizing, cruelty, violence, and predation, these things are out of bounds, and we have to say no often and loudly. When others promote any perspective that dehumanizes others, we need to be ready to oppose it as long as necessary. But disagreement itself is not the enemy. It's an opportunity. The letter of James says, "Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry." Because even if somebody disagrees with us, it doesn't mean that they're wrong. Their perspective might differ, but it might teach us something to understand that. It means respecting the dignity of another person's experience. We can continue to maintain our own perspective and respect that of someone else that they could see not wrong or right, but differently than we do. The Harvard Negotiation Project, in its book, Getting to Yes, found this: if you want to resolve a conflict, you must be able to state the other side's point of view to their satisfaction before you offer your own point of view. Understanding unlocks stalemates. So in disagreement, we often say, "You're wrong. You don't get it. You always," but your "you" statements point a finger, and they threaten and they escalate things. It's more productive for me to turn that finger around and say, "I feel. I believe. I've experienced." I statements reveal. You statements tend to accuse. And accusation rarely leads to reconciliation. Peter asks Jesus, how many times should he forgive his brother or sister, according to the Judaic law, before he really lets them have it? Is it 5 times I have to take it? Is it 6? Is it 7? How many times do I have to forgive before I can really let them have it? And Jesus says 77 times. Or in another translation, 70 times 7, 490 times. Forgive, what really Jesus is saying is this: forgive so often that it becomes a habit. Forgiveness is not a weakness. It's a spiritual strength. Jesus says it's not a characteristic of a child of God to be storing up resentments until you can appear to be righteous and then really unload on them. It's about releasing the grip of anger before it turns to violence. Political violence has no place in a Christian understanding of the world. It's a betrayal of our faith. So, brothers and sisters, bear with each other and forgive one another. If any of you has a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. So let's be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to become angry. Let's learn to live with difference and maybe find that love actually flows through our dealing with difference in a positive way. Now, God bless you. Take care of yourself. Sometimes these seem like really perilous times, don't they? So if you find value in this, I hope you'll pass it along. But in any case, I'll see you soon. Thank you.